Okay, thank you, Anna.
So I think 7:05. Let's continue the class. Anyway, Brother Francis has prayed for me also. Welcome to today's lecture on witnessing gospel to friends, part 2. Yesterday we had part 1 and we were not able to finish the lecture. We stopped in between. So let's continue with the same mind to get into the discussions. We stopped here. One of the best, profound, practical approach to help our friends to know Christ is Atidi evangelistic aspect. We are living in a country where the cognitive minds of the people understand Atidi Devo Bhava, treating guests well, and particularly offering food is an important and enduring aspect of hospitality in French culture. Offering hospitality is fundamental to French culture, and providing food and shelter to a needy stranger was a traditional duty of the householder. I have seen some strong caste conscious friends also entertain people to have food. Of course, it may not be inside the house, but at least outside, or giving a kind of hospitality and treating well. And I remember the other day as I was reading a book, the author says to reach friends is through the stomach. Particularly to reach an young man is through the stomach. Because food plays a vital role, particularly in Indian context. We offer food and we invite them. Food is not just to fill the stomach, but it is an opportunity to build relationships and also a discussion at the table. The discussion at the table can be an in-depth theological discussion. Festivals, occasions, and we called happy moments, birthdays, and whatnot. So India is a land with a lot of relationships, and particularly in Asia, even in Africa also. I read a lot of books. So at the table, we develop discussions, and the relationship, the bond of relationship will be so strong, and we continue to engage the dialogue. And we exchange love because at the table, it's a reciprocal relationship. You invite them for food and they invite you for food, because food is not just to fill the stomach, but it is a relationship where even the children and the children, two families, children join together. The unexpected guest is called the Atidi, literally meaning without a set time. That's our culture. In India, people don't inform that they're coming. It may be strange in the West. Even if a father goes to his own son's house in the West, the father has to inform and make an appointment, fix the time. I have seen a lot of fathers, they land in the city. Of course, apart from the appointment and fixing the time, parents, they stay in the hotel and they drive the car. They stay a couple of hours with the children and they go and stay in the hotel. But whereas in India, even the children, grandparents, everybody stay, even if it is a small room. It's a dynamic culture which has a dynamic relationships in India and elsewhere in Asia. So this culture is entirely a different culture. A culture that emphasizes relationships at the food. So when somebody invites you for a food, and we should not theologize it so much, what is there and what they give and this and that. No, for example, somebody calls you to have a food at Diwali. or maybe somebody's wedding. We should inform them what we eat. This is what I like. They will prepare happily. But escaping and giving a false information saying that I have some other work, even if there is no, because Christians do that. They somehow wanted to avoid, particularly in a festivity mood, and sometimes thinking that we should not taking only 2 3 verses from the Daniel here and there. Daniel took stand not to take the defiled food. By the way, that's not a defiled food here. Our Indian friends or Asian friends give. And if you politely say that whatever I want, they'll give you. So food is one of the best opportunity where we know people. Almost 25 years, my association with the university students. You know, I'm grateful to my wife. Sometimes students used to come at late night, 11:30, 12 o'clock. And she used to cook and they used to eat, and lot of discipleship happened at the food table. Lot of discipleship happened after the food. They used to come and eat food, and then a lot of discussions and sleep overnight, and morning they go. Whenever they feel like having a cup of coffee, they used to come and they sit, and we ask, do you want anything? They, no, 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 I am fine. In Indian culture, it's a shy culture, and they don't ask. Even when they come at the lunchtime or the supper time, you say, did you eat food? They say, yeah, we ate. You know, we need to understand that they haven't eaten and we should offer. And the best way to relate with people, particularly in Asian context, is food, and the other one, personal relationships. As we have been discussing, and the other day, friends in the class also mentioned, particularly in a personal relationship or personal, when you're sharing the love of Jesus, listening, as I already said. Most of the time we have temptation to share all the theology that we have. We try to impart so much theology. If we get a 1 hour chance to have an interaction with an individual, with that 1 hour, we give all theology. No, we need to listen first, because we need to listen to the other person's broken heart, maybe his concept of issues. Listening. What happens, listening leads to love. Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. How it happens? When you love, when you listen. This born blind man was crying, saying that, Son of David, have mercy on me. The disciples do not want to listen. They said, keep quiet, shut your mouth. They don't want to listen. But in the midst of that noise, Jesus listened to that cry and he said, let him come near to me. And then second question he asked, he didn't say anything. He wanted to listen from this broken heart. And he said, what do you want me to do for you? Means he wanted to listen to that individual. And then he said, Lord, I want to see. The love surpassed from him. The love healed him. The love of God touched him. Today, it's by love that we touch people. It's not by so much preaching. Yes, preaching has a vital role. Theology has a vital role. Strategy has a vital role. But above all, the practical aspect of helping others to experience or to have the anubhava of God is by listening. Now, the best theology that we learn is by listening. Sit with the individuals, ask them, what is the concept of God? And what do they think? What is their struggles? And today, there are no people who listen to the brokenhearted. Everybody is busy. Children don't have time to listen to parents. And even parents don't have time to listen to the children. Even husbands don't have time to listen to the wife. And wife doesn't have time to listen to the husband. Everybody is rushing, running. And particularly, and now with this corona, everybody's in the home. But nobody has time to listen to a broken heart. Everybody's busy with the gadgets and online, listening, maybe programs here and there, teaching, preaching, maybe taking part, this and that. But Listening to the broken heart is the best method the Lord Jesus taught us. What is the most effective activity? I asked the question. And here is the answer came. 21% of the data out of, I think, 400, they said personally meeting people. It's a personal relationship. Sharing the love of God person to person. Taking a phone, calling him, listening to him, maybe going to that individual, sitting with him and talking with him. And 34% said it's a kind of small group theological discussions where you sit and discuss. I'm so happy our class is very small. We were 15, but now and then 10, 11, 12, 7, 8, that's fine. A lot of learning takes place in small group where there is a kind of discussions. And a kind of camps where you keep people inside and teach. That's a 20%. And today, because of Corona, I don't think so we can have any of these things except online. And I don't know. The particular data that I asked, nobody said. 0% track distribution. And Christmas programs and the festivals, no, 15%. They said, yeah, 15%. But this got my attention. These are intellectual people. Readability is high. Not like rural people. These people crazy. They read anything. They throw a paper on the floor. They take it and read. Because these are, most of them are intellectual students and they love to read any piece of paper that's there on the street. But quite interestingly, my data said, I don't know why, but nobody said this. Somebody has come to Christ through that particular activity. But most of the fund initially has gone for this. If you want to engage in the mission of God, immediately people say tract distribution, tract distribution. That's good, but the results is very, very low. Yes, there are some stories, individuals saying somewhere on the street, I read this paper and I read that particular verse in that tract touched me and I came to Christ. Yes, there are so stories. But in my particular data, I haven't found anything. But the best method, as I said, sitting with the individual face to face and talking. 3 years ago, I was on that Darjeeling near to the Himalayan hills, gazing at the beauty of those snow peaks, sat with an individual talking. We had an amazing discussion, theological discussion. I think 2 years ago, I was in Maharashtra somewhere. I went for a conference just for a cup of coffee. I was just walking on the street. I stopped this individual, having a kind of saffron towel and Rudraksha chain on his neck, just walking on the street. I just said namaskar, and then he said, yeah, namaskar. With my broken Hindi, I started talking with him, and he started telling his story. I said, I want to listen to him. Where are you from? Where are you going? What's your name? These are small, small questions I asked him, and I just smiled at him. You are not going to lose anything when you smile to an individual, not with the opposite sex. We need to understand where to smile, when to smile. That's also, there are a lot of, we need to understand etiquette. And his face started shining like a 100 candle bulb, started sharing his story. I'm spiritually thirsty. And all my responsibilities got over at home. And there is a desire in me to know the ultimate reality, traveling. I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Varanasi. I want to go there and meditate and see. And we had a lot of theological discussions. A poor, innocent peasant, a farmer, talking rich theology, philosophy. And we had a cup of coffee on the street, and then I started talking. Do you know Jesus? I said, Kya bola? Jesus. And he said, nobody told me anything. I started sharing. He was wondering the theology that he could hear from me. People are there. How? By listening, we can understand and we communicate. Listening, listening, listening. In listening to the individual story. It took time for me. He spoke almost 1 hour on the street. I had to go to meeting. I said, this is important than that public meeting. I stayed there. All the 1 hour, I listened to him. Then after 1 hour, I just talked to him, I think 10, 15 minutes. He was so curious. No, listening, listening. The other day, I had a kind of housewarming ceremony in a Hindu context. So we had an amazing contextualized housewarming ceremony. Many people came. People from different religious walks have come. This Buddhist guru also came, monk. And after the ceremony, after my teaching, he was very much fascinated. We sat together for a cup of coffee after the meeting in the same house. You know, the discussion went about 2-3 hours. I learned so much from him, the way that they meditate, their theology and everything. Then I talked to him and he said, you know, one thing he said, Guruji, I never heard Christ in a way that you're explaining. Now everybody say you got conversion, but you're talking something, a Christ, a unique, the ultimate reality. I love to know more about him. How it happened? It's because of listening. By listening, you gain the other people's confidence. In India, particularly, Christian community hasn't learned how to listen to the theology of the Hindu mindset. No, we want to impose our theology. We want to impose with only one intention, by hook or crook. Within few days, we want to convert. No, Jesus hasn't involved in that business. He just came as a Son of God, as an embodiment of God himself. He displayed his light, engaged into the lives of people. That brought transformation and discipleship happened. And today, the Western ideology called this conversion and growth strategies, number game, has really spoiled the peaceful environment of this part. Now we have instigated the emotions of the people. As a result, the people out there, they misunderstood us. They thought we are existing in this country only for conversion, which is really not true. We have given a chance. Why? Because we are not willing to listen. We need to listen. Either you're eating or no, see, listening anywhere. That's the reason I'm particularly emphasizing this. As I'm thinking how to communicate what I have in my mind, I went to my Google photos, because I don't take pictures for the purpose of doing for anything. And long back I took here and there. It's automatically uploaded to Google Photos. As I was browsing through for the subject keeping in my mind, I composed it. I was talking to this young boy long back, I think a few years ago, at somewhere Amalapuram or something, I forgot, in East Godavari, West Godavari. He has a story to tell. Everybody is busy in that time. You know, sitting and listening to individuals, you are not going to lose anything by listening. You gain by listening. The other day I was in this restaurant, this young boy, you know, he had a great story. As I ate my food, after that at the counter I came and I asked him, hi, how are you doing? You know, he was so surprised. Everybody come and give the tip and they go. But here is a guy who is talking with me. And we had an amazing discussion. Now and then he posts Facebook, WhatsApp. Listening to the broken heart is one of the great need in the church and outside the church. Mission leaders don't have a time to listen to the broken hearts of their own subordinates. Pastors don't have a time to listen to the broken heart of their flock. Everybody's busy. In the name of God, we are doing a kind of busy schedule. I thank God. God allowed this corona. Today people have time. At least in the home, by force, they are listening. In spite of all discussions and deliberations, personal relationship is drastically falling down today. Why? Because program. Event management. By the way, now this event management has crept into the mission praxis. No, the other day Srinivas, I think, yes, Srinivas he was telling 60, I think more than almost 60, more than 60%, near to 70% of fund has been going for a kind of strategy planning. What is strategy planning? It is an event management. Somebody will a coordinator who loot a lot of money and a kind of a tender type of thing, trender, and uh, he will be like a businessman, organizing, event management, booking the hotels and fixing the speakers and organizing and compiling, printing, downloading, doing all this. That's all event managing, which is needed now and then. But our focus has completely gone for personal relationship to the event management. And the event manager, particularly in the traditional India, wedding is a kind of lot of celebration. Relatives come, sit and talk, a kind of festivity, sharing, telling the stories. But today we lost that art of relationships. And it's an event, wedding became an event management, and they hire a hall, go there and finish, and everybody will go on their own. No time to share their stories, because particularly Asia, it is a orality is the context. Oral stories. Not we are not so much documented people. We are people of orality. What happens in this orality, oral context, when 10 people come together, they tell their stories. They remember their stories. How were they 10 years ago? How were they 20 years ago? The orality culture, particularly in Asia, we have a lot of stories. They come at the table. In the earlier days of the wedding, they come and they have a pandal, prepare the pandal. They go to the trees, palm trees, they chop down the leaves, they bring it, they arrange it. No, in that particular arrangement, organizing things, people come together to talk. But today we lost the talk. Everything is event management. You throw the money, the event is over, and you go away. You don't have time to sit and have that personal relationship. Even the mission praxis also became like that. Just a kind of event management. You have a conference, you have a retreat, you have a camp. It's just an event. Everybody come, event is over, how many people came, and white paper documentation, yeah, 100 people came, and these are the things happened. Conclusion, finish. You got this much money you have spent it. We need some more money, raise some funds, and talk to people, get money. Whole focus is on raising money, filling the gap, organizing the event, gone. And where do you get an intimacy with people, sitting, talking? I'm grateful to this one man in 1993 when I went to this camp. It was a time of relationship with individuals. That small little town at Nambur, at the back of Nagarjuna University in between Guntur and Vijayawada. This cognitive mind, the Hindu mind, was not understanding anything. It was 3 days camp. A lot of people coming, sharing this theology, God, sin, salvation. Nothing went into my brain. Only somebody playing sitar attracted me, sat and listened his music, but nothing in my mind. But I'm so grateful. One individual, he came and sat with me almost 2-3 hours. And he said, I know something is happening with you. And then I said, I don't understand anything. These people are pressurizing me, saying that you accept Jesus, accept Jesus. I know it's such a drama. Everybody, I know some of them, very, very bad guys in the college. And so much cry and weeping by evening, raising hands. Oh, I am such a great sinner. From today, I will be, the Lord touched me. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because I thought, oh, these fellows are wicked fellows, then they deserve for that. But I'm okay because I was a good boy. But that individual sat with me and he started interacting and asking questions and he listened to my story. And I said, I'm not interested in this. Oh, that's fine. Then after 2 hours, he explained in a way that I can understand. What is sin? What is God? What is Jesus? All this. No, that only made me to know take a decision at the final session. That's the reason. Personal relationship. But today, We need to come back to those basics of relating with one another, speaking, talking, asking questions. I don't know. People don't want to talk. And sometimes they maintain prestige. No, I am this kind of prestige. I don't want to talk. Even they don't like to give their phone number also. If you call me as a preacher, I come and talk and go. When somebody asks, sir, I want to have your phone number, I will talk to you later. No, 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 don't give my phone number. Many people will call me, I'm so busy. But Jesus, the embodiment of God, the busy, the creator came into this world just for people. His whole life, 3.5 years when he did his ministry. You look at the Gospels. When we read the Gospel, it's an amazing. The Son of God interacted with people, sitting, talking, interacting, healing with individuals. Even this guy climbed the tree and he saw him. Hey, come, I want to stay with you. You want to see me, right? Not only saying, I want, because he understood that individual's inner psychological agony. He said, I'm coming for a lunch to your home. That was the attitude of Jesus. Today, you and I should have that attitude of personally relating with individuals, to talking, listening, observing, encouraging, motivating, going an extra mile. I observe in our mission praxis a trend of replacing personal relationship with program events, as I have been talking about, event management. Of course, we need to have events now and then, but not. We need to have, I think 3 years ago, these people have conducted meetings here in Dharmavaram. We went here, and this guy is a Muslim principal. Here, there's his own college. The principal himself distributed. So relation, I sat with him. I went to office and I sat with him and talked to him what I do. So, see these guys. This is also Dharmavaram somewhere. I forgot the school. Today we have a methodology. We are filled with westernized models, and it's very difficult for us to digest whether it works in India. Yes, it works. You may not believe, that's why I said, Enadu published, newspaper published, that we have distributed. No, particularly Hindus are such a great people. They're good people, by the way. Let me tell you, Hindus are the best people. They're good people. They read when you give. But we have instigated their emotions with all of our strategies and biased type of environment. We have instigated their feelings and they reject now. This is not long ago, 2 years ago. I sat like a guru here, sitting there at the center of the table, the down picture preaching to students. These all college, second year, first year, intermediate students sitting on the floor. You see there, no mat, nothing, with their pants and everything. They sat on the floor, students. That's India, my friend. When it comes to the spirituality, no matter what happened, they really give time for spirituality. This is Asian context. I've been talking, still sometimes say, oh, globalized, westernized, what is this indigenization? No, it works. It doesn't work with Christian church because they are so much westernized, and we need, unless we have some chair and some cushion, even with the chair, we need some kind of cushion there, because pastor, boring preaching, 2 hours of preaching, and you need to have a nap in between. So today we need to come back, and that's the reason I'm asking. Listen to the preaching style and the methodology of the friends they use. It works. You see these guys, degree intermediate students sitting on the floor, the boys. Today say, oh, students are sophisticated now. These are the smart guys. Just sitting there under the tree, just on the sand, sitting there. Even the girls. And then these are all here, just nearby our places. See, sitting 1 hour, almost 2 hours they sat there. We don't need a kind of event management to relate relationships. You can relate with people under the tree. That's what I did. They said, oh, we want to have a stage. Nothing else. Forget about it. I said the principal, I talked to him, can we have it? They said, I talked to the student, is it okay if you sit? No, yes, sir, we will sit. That's the mindset of India. Most of the discipleship in India happened under the tree, my friends. Hello, do you know? But the Western discipleship happens in the AC room. But India, discipleship in India, if you want to relate with Indians, you need to come closer to the nature. They call it Mother Nature. You need to come back to the nature because there is an amazing relationship when you come to the nature. So social engagement. What is social engagement? Respect versus dignity. We have seen personal engagement, and now we look at the social engagement. When you enter into a social engagement, as Paul said, I became all to all. In that social engagement, you need to allow people to have social relationships. The social relationships are dynamic, that you impact much. You share the love of Jesus to individuals. Now and then I go. And I know my limits, how far to go, but people accept when you get inside. The friends to connect back to your family. You need to connect back to your family. Of long years, I went to Gudivada, and then I remember, because ours was a very big family. My mother had 7 sisters and brothers, a number of other brothers, and big family, giant family. When I was a child, it was like, 50 people used to be in the home sometimes. And started from 2013 onwards, I wanted to relate with one another. Purposefully taking time and going. After, I think after 25 years, I visited my cousin's children. They call me Babai. Babai means I am an uncle for them. They're like my age. Of course, not my age, but they're also married. But they just started remembering. When we were small kids, we used to play. Where did you go now? These many years. I had to repent. I became a westernized Christian and lost my relationships. This is the story of many of the followers of Christ. You don't need to lose your relationships. You can come back. My brother, he started telling, Array, you were there in those days, talking with him. He started telling some poems, some mantras, this and that. And I started sharing the love of Jesus. As Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had been demon possessed begged to go with him. Jesus did not let him, but said, go home and tell your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you. Go back to your home. And we need to encourage our friends who are following Jesus. We should encourage them. Go back to your home. Connect to your, because in India particularly, we have the web of relationships. When one individual starts following Christ, we don't have to chop off his relationships. He can connect with his family, talk to them, relate with them. After 20 years, I realized I need to come back. Now, Jesus said, go back to your family, but this is a difficult process. And this is a difficult process. You need to connect back in a way that they can accept you. By the way, family member is a family member. They may scold, they may abuse, but when they see you, that love and the bond of relationship will come out, particularly in India. Take time to visit, listen to the broken heart, and love the leftover. These are the typical tips I'm giving you. Take time to visit, listen to the broken heart, and love the leftover. As the Lord began to talk to me, the Lord gave me this vision. The Yeshu Bhaktas in India, the followers of Christ from other faiths, they are double rejected. They are leftover. They are completely broken with so many issues. Now we need to take care of them. and encourage them. And we need to give a hand saying that, yes, we are here. Church lost the art. Now, particularly Jesus is somewhere. You win somebody and you go all the shores and seas and you get one, and then you make him worse than you. In Telugu, like, ఒకడి కోసం సప్త సముద్రాలన్నీ తిరిగి వాడిని పట్టుకొని వాడిని నీకన్నా దౌర్భాగ్యునిగా చేస్తావు. That happens in the church. With all the methodology, they'll go around and convert some people from other faiths, and they make their life bitter and worse. And today we need to understand, to listen to the broken heart, love the leftover, and disciple. And Jesus was always there, everywhere, listening. That's the reason I'm telling. There is a story to tell. Now today, Corona created devastation. Now the floods are creating devastation. Many of the homes in India now, they're really struggling. Insecurity of the future. No matter, they don't know what happens after 1 month, 2 years, 1 year. Now almost 6 months now. People are not having food to eat. Disease is at the door. And 24/7, we need to listen to the broken heart. And particularly with Dr. Vanu, when we had this program, and I get hundreds and hundreds of calls, just listening to their story, and tell them, you consult your doctor. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a theologian. You can talk to your local doctor, but yes, the doctor gives a medicine, but when we talk to you half an hour, I feel little comforted. I feel that I have some part of energy with me. What people need is an assurance. And after that, when you pray, the power of God comes in between, because when you and the other party individual, both of you pray, Holy Spirit will be there. Because Bible says, wherever 2 or 3 gathered in my name, there am I. When you talk to individual at the deathbed or somewhere in the struggle, when you talk, when you pray, the Holy Spirit of God will come. The other day, it was not now, I think 1 year ago, when we visited Raichur, my wife's place, we both visited this bedridden woman and started praying. It's an amazing experience. Tears started coming from our ears, listening to the broken heart. We need to sit and listen, take time to visit, listen to the broken heart, love the needy. The other day, it was heavily raining, I think 2 years ago. So, heavy rain. I got a call from somebody saying that a friend of mine in Dharmaram, there is not Dharmavaram, there is a Dharmaram near to Nijamabad. My friend is dying on the deathbed. And we came to know from somebody, you preached in our Methodist church, a friend of mine gave you a number, Pastor, can you go and pray for them? It's all innocence. She asked me, it's just for one person, all the way going from Hyderabad to Dharmaram. There is a broken heart there. I thought, I just left it. After a few hours, the Spirit of God started rebuking me. He said, if Jesus get this invitation, can't he go? I said, I will go. I had to pay my money, and I had to get out, take an umbrella, and go to the bus stand, get a bus and go there. Without knowing anything, I got their phone number and called and went. 3 hours drive and went there. There is a story to listen, a broken heart. Hardly I see men crying, but her husband came to the road to receive me at the bus station. Heavily raining. He took me to somewhere at the veranda. He started crying like little baby. Just God took me there just to listen to his cry. 1 hour, he started crying. A middle-aged man, about 55. And then took me home. Such a rugged smell on the deathbed, this woman. Listening to the story, the Lord brought healing to that family. It was painful to go for one individual. That's the reason Jesus asked us. And we need to sit and listen. And what next?